Top of Bluetick Pig, Part 5. They reached the garden a little late. Mrs. Winfield and the farmhands were waiting for them under a spreading white oak tree. When Mr. Winfield and Sarah arrived with Bluetick trotting behind the wagon, the farmhands and Mrs. Winfield started laughing. When Sarah got down from the wagon, Bluetick came grunting to her. They saw that she was Sarah's pet pig. Mr. Winfield took time from work to explain how he had sold Sarah a runt pig. And now she's as big as 3 of her brothers and sisters, Mr. Winfield said. I was glad Bluetick followed Sarah to work this morning, Mr. Winfield said. I thought the pig I sold her for a quarter hadn't lived since she never told me about it. I've always heard a runt pig makes the biggest hog in a litter. Now I believe it. Sarah was so happy that Mr. Winfield liked Bluetick. He had lost an hour of work with his crew. Hang on. He had lost an hour of work with his crew. Sarah wondered what Bluetick would do when they crossed over the valley stream to the garden to plow and hoe. Before they crossed the stream, Bluetick had found it. This was her first time ever to wade into the water. There was a deep hole just below the big oak shade tree. Bluetick liked the feel of cool water on her feet. She put her mouth into the water. She tasted, and then she drank. She lay down in the water and rolled. The wind which she breathed had never been more joyous to her than the water. Your pig's having a good time here, one of the farmhands said to Sarah as they left the stream with her hose across her shoulders. You don't have any feed for your pig, do you? No, she fathered me, and I didn't bring anything to feed her, Sarah said. But I have my lunch over there in the express wagon in a basket. I'll give her part of it. And Bluetick likes grass. She'll eat grass like a calf or a cow. At noon, Mr. Winfield stopped plowing with Edna and shouted to Sarah, Mrs. Winfield, and the farm workers. Noontime! The workers had left their dinner buckets in the express wagon. They ate under the spreading oak tree. They threw pieces of bread over into the hole of water below them and watched the minnows in the stream gather around and swallow the crumbs. Sarah walked down to cross the stream. Bluetick, who had been waiting in the water downstream, came up and joined her. Bluetick followed her to the wagon. When Sarah opened her basket, she had 3 biscuits spread with her mother's wild blackberry jelly. She also had a baked sweet potato, 3 square pieces of cornbread, and a bottle of milk. Now, Bluetick, I can give you my baked sweet potato, and I'd give you my cornbread crumbled into my bottle of sweet milk if I had something to put it in, Sarah said. Well, I got the very thing for you up there in the wagon, Mr. Winfield told Sarah. I got a pan up there that I used to carry plants in. Go get it. Sarah went to the wagon, with Bluetick following at her heels, grunting to her. Sarah found the pan. She put the pan on the ground under the tree. She crumbled the 3 pieces of cornbread and poured the bottle of milk onto the bread. She laid the baked sweet potato down beside the pan. Now, Bluetick, you can eat too. Well, I didn't think a pig would make a pet, one of the farmhands said. Now I know one will. The Winfields, the workers, a girl and her pig, were eating together in the oak shade. Each one of the workers gave Bluetick some food from his or her dinner pail. Bluetick ate very fast, but when she finished, she walked down toward the stream. She waded upstream to the knee-deep hole shaded by the oak's long branches. The workers sat on the bank and threw the last of their crumbs over into the water where the minnows had gathered. When the minnows swam up to the water surface to get the bread, Bluetick tried to catch the minnows. She waded into the deep hole of water almost up to the top of her back. She loved what she was doing. The workers threw in all the crumbs they had and watched the show. The minnows swam like little silver flashes. They were too fast for Bluetick. And when she opened her mouth, she got water in it. Bluetick waded out where the water wasn't so deep. Then she lay down and kicked at the water with her little cloven hooves, her feet. Then she turned over on her back. "She's like a little boy or girl playing in the water," Mr. Winfield said. Before the workers and Sarah got up to go back to work, Bluetick got up from wallowing in the nice, clean, cool water, and she walked upstream where the water was shallow. She turned over rocks with her nose. There were crawdads under those rocks. Crawdads are crayfish, the little creek lobsters. One jumped out, and he wasn't as fast as the minnows had been. Bluetick caught some crawdads, and she ate them very greedily. When the workers saw this, they were surprised. "Well, they tell me that people eat crawdads," said Mrs. Winfield. "I don't see any reason why a pig wouldn't. Crawdads are clean things, but I didn't know a pig could catch one. Sarah, your pig is learning a lot today. She's having a great time." In the afternoon, while everyone worked, Bluetick spent most of her time in the stream. She turned over more rocks and caught more crawdads to eat. She came over into the sweet potato patch to look for Sarah. She just wanted to know that Sarah was there. When she found Sarah, she stayed only a few minutes with her in the warm sunlight. Then she went back to her clean, cool water. Okay, I was getting afraid she was going to eat all the sweet potatoes. When the day ended, the workers got their hoes and lunch pails and started walking home. Mr. Winfield hitched Edna back to the express wagon. Bluetick watched Sarah and Mrs. Winfield get up on the seat beside Mr. Winfield. Then she followed the wagon up the road. She was happier when Sarah got off the wagon at the Winfield house. She walked the rest of the way home with Sarah. When Sarah walked up the hill path toward the house, Finn was out in the yard. When he saw Sarah coming with Bluetick beside her, he ran into the house. Then Sally, Martha, Finn, Glenna, and their mother all came out to meet them. "Oh, we thought Bluetick was gone," Molly said. Molly, again, is Mama. "Glenna and Finn have been crying for her." "No, Mom, she followed me. I couldn't turn back with her. I had to go on." Bluetick, who didn't like the hot sun, but never seemed to tire, was glad to be home. She went up to Glenna, Finn, Martha, Sally, and Molly, grunting very fast. "There's that pig loving the water. She's not a pig in mud, but she's a pig in clean water. I guess that's pretty close." Anyway, she's grunting very fast. Bluetick walked up to each one and looked up into their faces while Finn stroked her back. "What did you do about feeding her?" Molly asked. "I gave her my milk, my cornbread, and baked potato, and all the workers gave her a potato or piece of bread from their lunch pails. They love Bluetick. She made friends with them." "Oh, well, we'll give her extra rations for her supper," Molly said. "Mom, Bluetick has had a great day. I thought that the Winfields wouldn't like it because she followed me. But Mr. Winfield didn't know she was still alive. He couldn't believe she was so big and healthy, and he took Bluetick over to his pig pen to see her mother, brothers, and sister." Oh, sorry, this is Sally. "Did she know them?" Sally asked. "No, Bluetick wouldn't have anything to do with them. She didn't know their language." "What else happened?" "Bluetick got into the stream, and she loved it. She tasted and then drank, and she lay down and wallowed in the water." Finn, Sally, and Martha thought this was very funny, and they laughed. "Mom, she did something else you won't believe. She tried to catch the minnows in the deep hole under the oak." "Did she catch any?" "No, they were too fast for her, But she turned over rocks with her nose, and when the crawdads ran out, she caught some of them. She ate them, too. Now, everybody laughed about Bluetick's first visit away from the home. Everything was very funny. Bluetick was still walking around, looking up at her admirers and grunting to them as fast as she could. When the pals gathered around their supper table, Sarah told her father about what a great day Bluetick had when she followed Sarah to work. While the pals were eating their supper, Bluetick ate her supper. She had gone to bed early. She was in her pen, asleep on her bed of soft, dry leaves. Sarah and her mother had fed Bluetick extra rations of cornbread and rich milk that Blossom had given. "It is taking a lot of cornbread now to feed Bluetick," Molly said. "The meal in our barrel is going down fast." "Tomorrow I'll take my mules to Greenwood and bring home meal to mix with Blossom's milk for Bluetick," Mick said. "We need the day off to do something else." "And this will save our cornmeal," Molly said. "Bluetick could eat as much cornbread as all this family if I'd bake and feed it to her. She has some appetite and likes cornbread." "And grass and crawdads," Sarah said with a laugh. "Tomorrow I'll go back to work for the Winfields until noon," Sarah said with a smile. "I get paid tomorrow." "Well, what are you going to do with your money, Sarah?" Sally asked. "We'll buy clothes and books for school. Plum Grove School begins August 1st, you know." "Sarah, I don't want Bluetick to follow you tomorrow," Mick said. "Dad, after I feed her, I'll fasten her in her pen. I thought about this already." "Later we can turn her out, and Finn, Glenna, and Martha can play with her," Molly said. "Oh, we'll take her for a walk," Martha said joyfully. "We'll see if she follows us like she does Sarah." "Where will you go for a walk?" Sarah asked. "Out to the barn," Martha told Sarah. "Did you know that Bluetick has never been out to the barn? We'll take her out there to see the cows. We'll let her see Blossom, the cow that gives her milk." "Oh, that'll be great," Molly told them. The next morning, after the chores were done, Sarah fed Bluetick in the pen. Sarah fastened the door behind her and went to work. Mick then left for Greenwood. The Powells had a wagon that was pulled over their farm by their mules, Dick and Dinah. But they couldn't go to Greenwood in a wagon because, well, there was no road leading to their home. Mick and Molly Powell never owned an automobile in their lives. When the Powell family went to Greenwood, which was 4 miles away, they walked across the mountain. When Mick left the house, Molly, Sally, Martha, Finn, and Glenna waved to him. He rode proudly in the saddle on Dick's back, while he led Dinah by the bridle reins. He carried a basket on his arm to bring home groceries Molly had asked him to get. Dinah would carry the big load of feed for Bluetick. Gonna stop right there. Read a couple of sections. So I'm glad Bluetick did not destroy the farm. I had a bad feeling about that. Glad I was wrong. But everybody seems to be a big fan of Bluetick. Where do you think the story's going to go from here? Now, remember, the assignment is to guess, or not even guess, but just to gauge, to get your opinion. Would this be a good story for smaller children? I mean, where Sarah is a 10-year-old girl taking care of this pig. Do you think this would be a good story for 10-year-old girls? What about 10-year-old boys? Do you think it would be good for middle school children? I'm a little bit older than middle school, and I'm enjoying this story. But again, I'm not part of the technology cell phone generation, and I can relate a little more to this story than perhaps somebody who's never really been on a farm. Then again, we have lots of students in Granite County who live on farms, who raise animals. who know what this life is about. So, what do you think? How's this story going? Is this something that you would recommend for younger children? Start keeping that in mind. Okay, and we will continue the story. Once I find my, there it is, find my stop sharing button. Bye.